Good morning, everyone. I'm going to wait a couple seconds before I get started because it's, by my watch anyway, it's not quite 11:10. So hello, my name is Randa Speller. I am an ambassador for 1 Million Meditators living in Chatham, Ontario, Canada. So that's kind of small town Ontario, Canada, where it's a beautiful fall day. If you can, in the comments, if you're watching me, let me know where you're from and say hello. It's a great day to be alive. It's sunny here, and it's just beautiful. I wanted to offer you today the first of a series of positive affirmations and gratitude samplings. Some of them will be meditations. Some of them will be writing and contemplating what positive affirmations are all about. So that's really where I'd like to start today, is just talking to you a little about that. I've been kind of seeing things posted for many years now about positive affirmations and how they're so great for you, and everybody should use them and feel grateful. But we rarely contemplate why. So that's what I wanted to bring to you today. Positive affirmations and gratitude statements are simply ways to touch our hearts. They're not meant for our heads, so that's not meant to kind of self-aggrandize and say, hey, I'm fantastic, I'm the king of the world, or anything like that. That's stuff of the head. But it's really meant to open up your spirit to your heart, because it's in the heart where all of the best emotions are nurtured, and where we can touch our own humanity and our connection to the rest of humanity and the rest of all sentient beings and the rest of the divine within us and beyond us. Some people say God, some people say spirit, some people say universe. To me, it's all the same energy and intent. It's that loving presence that some of us have lost touch with. So by using positive affirmations, we have an opportunity to regrow that, to rekindle that spirit of love within our hearts. If you're already there, then this is just a reminder for you. But if you're not quite there, or especially in 2020 when we're all kind of struggling with the energy and the not so great things going on in the world, we need to really work on this now more than ever. So I will offer you a meditation today, so we can connect our hearts. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the ways to make positive affirmations work for you. So an affirmation that I write for myself, or that I experience through kind of affirmation cards. I've got the healing mantra deck from Matt Kahn here, who is really awesome. The first deck I ever bought was from the book The Fifth Agreement, which is a follow-up to Don Miguel Ruiz and Don Jose Ruiz's Four Agreements book, and they're lovely. Also, this deck from Gabrielle Bernstein. These are just three that I have on hand that I find helpful. But these cards can't touch your heart unless you agree with the statements on them. So as I thumb through a card deck, and I'll just give you an example. So I'm pulling this deck, was the first one I ever used. I saw it at a weekend retreat that I was at, and I thought, oh, these cards are so cool. They just really kind of lightened my heart and gave me a positive feeling. So quite a few people, and there's no right or wrong way to do this, but quite a few people I know will do this. They'll shuffle the deck. Hello, Linda. And they'll just kind of pull the first card that pops out. Sometimes it drops out on the floor. Sometimes it just comes out as a single card, and then you read it to yourself. So here's the key here for me. The key is when I read it, first I take a small, or like a long, deep inhale. Eyes open or closed. I tend to close mine because it's just my second nature now. Touch place with my heart, and then read the card. So that's a key. I am immune to gossip. That's the card I pulled today. If that resonates with me, then I continue to think about it and contemplate it for just a minute. Am I immune to gossip? Not entirely. So maybe that's not true for me on this day. But let me see what it says on the back of this card. It says, I am immune to predators who use gossip to hurt other people. It doesn't matter who judges me, who blames me, who disagrees with my point of view. I don't even bother to defend my point of view. Is that an affirmation I needed to hear today? Absolutely. Is it one that touches my heart? Yes. Is it a good reminder that what I feel and what I think are mine alone and they shouldn't be influenced with others? There's where I began to explore kind of the deeper meaning of the affirmation. So I encourage you to do that if you're using decks or if you're writing your own affirmations, and we'll do that on another week. To give it a moment, open your heart, read the affirmation, and see if you can connect with the message it has for you. Sometimes they will simply lift your heart and give you a little smile, kind of like seeing a beautiful flower for the first time, or walking by and noticing a shape in a cloud or something like that. It just kind of opens your heart up a little bit. But when you read an affirmation, quite often there's a message for your heart, and it may open something in you. So I encourage you to do that. During our meditation today, which we're going to have for the remaining time together, which will be, I don't even know where we're at now. We're at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So for about 10 minutes, we'll do a meditation, and I'll be reading some affirmation statements. Now, I encourage you to sit comfortably, or if it's more comfortable for you to lay down, by all means do that. There's no need to keep looking at my face. Just listen to my words during the rest of our time together. In meditation, I always begin by taking a few long, deep, slow breaths. And I encourage you to do that as well. See if you can breathe down deep into your belly, taking a breath that's a little longer and a little slower than normal, to mark this time as special, and to bring extra oxygen into your system. And now for a moment, bring your awareness to your heart, kind of the general area of the heart within your body. And if you're able to do it, allow yourself to feel as though you're breathing life into the heart and exhaling from the heart. Physically, we know that we're breathing into the lungs and exhaling from the lungs, but the lungs nestle the heart, so it's pretty close. This feeling of breathing into any parts of our body directs our intention and our attention to them. And energetically, at least, it allows us to direct a little bit of extra love and care and oxygen to those areas. It's particularly useful to breathe into any spots that are holding stress. And for our meditation, I'm going to slowly read a number of affirmation cards from the Gabrielle Bernstein deck, The Universe Has Your Back. I bought this one recently, and I particularly love it. I love the artwork. So I will show that artwork so that if you're watching this on the replay, you might be able to watch that. Just randomly pull cards from this deck. And I invite you to listen to them with an open heart. If the words resonate with you, then just allow them to grace your soul. If they don't touch you yet, just allow them to be born on the air around you, so that their positive effect may come to you and from a secondary path. Ready? When I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. When I accept the love of God as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. It's the same thing, God and universe. Both of those will work. The next one, this is the card actually I pulled yesterday for myself. The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me. So this one to me is kind of related to that first card I shared with you about gossip and judgment. If I let all of that fall away and just open my heart, anything external doesn't matter. That limitless well of love is available to me and I can touch it at any time. This next one is it's kind of a dark card, but I actually loved it so much I painted it and I have it on a wall on the other side of this room. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. Oh, isn't that a good one for 2020? Thank you, Gabrielle, for writing those words. I witness the darkness and call on the light with my prayer. Thank you, universe. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, God, for guiding me to perceive this fear through the eyes of the teacher of love. We're on a roll, folks. This is another one that's really related to the first card I pulled. Attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. This opens up the spirit of compassion within my heart when I feel judged by others. So attack, pain, fear, judgment, and any form of separation are merely calls for help. When we open our hearts to compassion, we regain the connection. We dissipate any kind of separation that has occurred between ourselves and others when we are open to that. What a beautiful thing. The next affirmation we'll share today is, I choose to learn through love. I choose to learn through love. I know this is appearing backwards to you, but just hold the energy of that card. Love is the best teacher on earth. And when you tap into it, your heart becomes open to learning from others as well. When I focus on my inner light, I see the world through the lens of love. When I focus on my inner light, that's the light of the heart. I see the world through the lens of love. Hold that one. That one comes with this kind of beautiful cloud and moon pictures or a soft sun. The artwork on these cards was done by Michaela Ezra, and I just love her work. My energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what I will manifest. This is the first law of manifestation, and we're going to talk a little bit about that more in future episodes. We're almost at the 15-minute mark in this in our time together today, so I will offer, let's say, 2 more affirmations from this deck. The presence of love will always cast out fear. presence of love, will always cast out fear. So 2020 has really taught us to examine fear in all of its many forms. We have the fear of COVID. We have the fear of losing loved ones through COVID. The fear engendered by all the many media streams and pronouncements and newspaper articles and news feeds that are all trying to grow fear within us. Here's one thing I know for sure. Fear acidifies the system. And a system I'm talking about your physical body here. A system that becomes acidified opens itself to inflammation. And inflammation is the cause of many physical injuries. Yeah, I know I'm not a doctor. I have read a lot about this, though, and when my husband had cancer, I would give him these test strips occasionally, and just you hold them on your tongue, and they will test how acidic your system is. So if you're on the alkaline, you're less likely to have inflammation in your system. And if your system is testing more towards the acidic, you're more likely to be feeding cancer. So he often tested onto the acidic, so we did quite a bit of work to bring him over to the alkaline side of life physically, and I think that prolonged his life. He passed away earlier this year, just before the COVID lockdowns began, and lost his battle with cancer. But we extended his life for many years by really taking care of his heart, trying to help him overcome fear. And just being connected. So with that, I invite you to take a couple of final deep breaths today. Find ways to open your heart to love on this day and every day. Please join me next week for more positive affirmations. Perhaps we'll try to write some together, and I'll teach you some tips and tricks for really good positive affirmations that will really light up your heart. So we'll do that together. In the meantime, stay away from negative media. Find ways to be creative and loving in your life. Open your heart to compassion. And remember, whenever you're stuck, take a couple of deep breaths. Thank you for joining me today, my friends, and I hope to see you next week. And I also hope that you'll join 1 Million Meditators in December. It's the 26th and 27th of December, so right after Christmas, for those of us in the Western world who celebrate that holiday. Join us for 2 days of meditations that will be led by people like myself from all over the world. They will be a beautiful opening of the whole heart and the whole globe and connection through love. So thank you, and I'll see you next week. Big love.